is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement. Alert! Alert! This is an emergency live stream. Please stand by for a Smitty announcement.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Breaking news. Here we go again. Your boy Smitty has been talking about this for a while. A lot of people are staying away from this. A lot of people are acting like Alvin Kamara is out of the woods. And while we have nothing officially concrete in terms of change in the NFL stance on Alvin Kamara's potential situation here, where he assaulted a man with his friends, beating a man allegedly unconscious, and while the man was on the ground unconscious, allegedly kicking him. Full footage is not leaked yet, although these things always tend to leak. These things always tend to get out. The full video tends to get out when there's a high profile person, and this thing is tried in the public opinion, in the eye of the public. And so here we are again, Alvin Kamara. The breaking news here today is that Tony Busby has decided to represent the victim of the alleged assault involving Alvin Kamara. Tony Busby is the attorney that represented all of the victims in the Deshaun Watson case that settled with Deshaun Watson. The NFL has to absolutely hate the idea of this man not going away. Tony Busby's got to be one of the worst nightmares of the NFL. Let's get to it.
From the fantasyfootballshow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
So a lot of Alvin Kamara drafters are going to come in hot defending Alvin Kamara. Oh, he's fine. He's going to be fine. Look, I've been telling you to avoid Kamara unless you're drafting him in round 3. This news that Alvin Kamara was going to not be likely to face a suspension in 2022 because of the hearing being pushed forward, this narrative that was painted by people that didn't know what they were talking about. I've had 2 attorneys on my show to break down the potential risk. Tony, the attorney, our regular Tony, the attorney, the regular man, the man that comes in, the man of the people. He's a man of the people. This attorney comes in and drops his knowledge on us on the regular. He said Alvin Kamara is too risky. Is too risky. People acting like this thing was completely over, that it was going to be pushed into 2023. Tony Busby representing the victim is bad for the NFL. It's bad for Alvin Kamara. When I say bad, I don't mean bad because of, his involvement in trying to get justice for the individual, but in terms of like this guy is he's going to cast a big spotlight on this thing. And this is from Pro Football Talk. It says Tony Busby to represent the victim of the alleged assault involving Alvin Kamara. A civil lawsuit is being prepared. So let me break this down because a lot of people don't tackle this the way that your boy Smitty does. I have attorneys on. I have individuals that come on and break this down. And there's a lot of things that need to be talked about here. Number one, there's no settlement in criminal court. Okay? This is being brought forward in a couple different ways. Number one, a civil action is potentially being brought forward, a civil lawsuit potentially being filed for monetary value. A lot of people are saying, oh, he'll settle, he'll plea out of these criminal charges. That's not the way it works. In the case of the criminal side of this, if he was to plead out at all, and we got confirmation from Baked In Boys, our other attorney that jumps on here and broke it down in tremendously good detail. Where's our Baked In Boys sound? Baked In Boys, an attorney, I believe he's in, where's he? Is he in Ohio? I'm mixing up Tony and him. Tony's in Ohio. Baked In Boys came in and told us and broke it down in tremendous detail that any kind of plea, if the video is as bad as we're hearing it is, any kind of plea is going to result in an NFL suspension, most likely. You can't plea your way out of a severe beating and assault and skate away without any kind of ramifications from the NFL. That's number one. Everybody thinking this thing's going to get plead out and settled on, not on the criminal side. That's not the way it works. If there's enough evidence, then the only thing a plea can do is try and plead down. It's not going to plead down until a misdemeanor. It's not going to plead down to something that's not going to have ramifications by the NFL. Any plea agreement it's going to be to try and avoid jail time. Like a plea agreement, and again, this is all my opinion, but I'm gathering a bunch of very knowledgeable individuals together to collectively come up with a nice educated guess for all of you to kind of understand what's going on. The video isn't out. Everybody keeps saying, isn't the video already out? It's not. Go look for it. There's a lot of videos of people with still shots or footage of them maybe pre-fight. The full footage of the video is not out. And if this thing gets out, the full video gets leaked. It's bad. And I have it on good authority from multiple people that they've had individuals that have seen the video talk to them, and they said it's bad. It's bad. Everything you're hearing is likely true based on the individuals that I've talked to, that this video it looks so bad. There's no plea. There's no plea that's going to result in him not seeing a suspension by the NFL. So here's the question. Yeah, once the video leaks, he's done. Here's the question. Does the NFL sit back and do nothing until 2023? This is what Adam Schefter is going to tell you. And do I know for certain that Alvin Kamara will be suspended in 2022? No, I don't. This is all me trying to paint a picture for you, gather as much information as I can, and then come in and try and decipher this the best way I can and give you a projection. Okay? The NFL is going to have a stance of we will let the legal process play out before we divvy out punishment, deliver punishment, right? What does the NFL have the ability to do if things get too messy from a PR perspective? Put him on paid leave. Take him out of action, not punish him. Just say, hey, you're going to go handle this in court. You're going to go on paid leave. Here you go. This is not punishment. We won't actually suspend you unless discipline, we won't hand out discipline unless you are convicted in a court of law. You're not going to be convicted in the court of public opinion. However, the NFL, the optics of this thing, we can't have you go out onto the field on Sunday and then go into the courtroom Monday through Friday and drag the NFL through this spotlight over and over and over. The NFL will be put in a position at some point to make a decision. Do we take you out of action, paid leave, we're not disciplining you yet, and let you go take care of business, come back, we're open arms as long as you're innocent, open arms, and we'll let you back in and everything will be good and good to go. I realize that is punishment in the eyes of Kamara. He's not getting any younger. Being removed from the field for a significant amount of time will hurt his potential career. I mean, that's for sure, but that's indirectly. Are they going to punish him? Not until it all plays out. Now, here's what everybody's going to tell you. Adam Schefter, everybody that's reporting on this from a casual perspective. Oh, the hearing got pushed forward 60 days. The trial can't even begin till a lot later, which means the trial can't conclude. And there's no way the trial is going to conclude until into 2023 and after the NFL Super Bowl. A casual is going to tell you that. And a casual is going to say to themselves, that means since they're going to sit back and not dish out discipline, there's nothing that's going to happen to him. He's good to go. Not true. Because if the video leaks, he's removed from the field. Even if it's paid leave, which is not considered dishing out discipline. Removing him paid leave is the NFL getting rid of a problem. So these that's number one. Okay, Busby, this is the NFL's worst nightmare. Tony Busby representing the victim. This is the same attorney that represented all the Deshaun Watson victims that settled. And this report by Florio says the Saints. This was the other day that he wrote this. The Saints running back Alvin Kamara is bracing for an eventual 6-game suspension and, more immediately, a lawsuit. The lawsuit is officially on the way. The lawsuit being that the civil lawsuit for the monetary damages. Now, what happens if he pleads out of the criminal charges? Which there's a video for it. Okay? This isn't like it's alleged he said. There's a video of the assault. Okay? If he was to plea out, which isn't something that the defendant necessarily has full control of, if he's to plea out, what happens? He's pleading out to avoid jail time or pleading out. It's not going to be a good plea that the NFL says, oh, you're good to go. This isn't that kind of plea. That's not what happens in the criminal side. And we talked to Baked In Boys who discussed this, and he's an attorney, discussed this from the financial level from this criminal side. If he did plea out and there were damages, like medical damages, you could go after medical damages in this plea, in this criminal side, be awarded medical amount of money for the medical bills and such. The civil side's completely different. When people say he'll settle, that's on the civil side. That has nothing to do with the criminal side. It's amazing that people are out here reporting on this. Like, I'm not saying I know everything, and I might be reporting something wrong right now, and I'll be happy to come back and say, actually, I had that part wrong. But I've had 2 attorneys on to try and bring you guys the best information I can because no one else is doing it that I can find. And you got someone like Adam Schefter coming out and saying, hey, guess what? He's not going to probably face a suspension in 2022 because the trial won't conclude until after the Super Bowl and the league's going to stand back. That's not necessarily how it's going to play out. The NFL will take action, even if it's not discipline, if the spotlight gets too bright. There's a lot of negative press surrounding the NFL right now. If this video leaks, he's removed from the field. He's removed from the field. The moment the full video leaks, he's removed from the field. So, in the plea, as far as admission, there are ways that you can plea out to a much lesser degree, right? But you're going to be, yes, in some form, some way, going to be looked at by the NFL as an offense that's worthy of being suspended. So, I'll say this to everybody. If you're drafting soon, you better package in the same amount of risk that you were packaging in when you were expecting a 6-game suspension. Will Alvin Kamara start week 1? It's possible. What if the video leaks before then? When did the videos leak? Because a lot of people say things like, Smitty, if the video was going to leak, it would have already leaked. Are you out of your mind? What do you mean? There's no blueprint for when someone decides to release something they shouldn't release. It's done sometimes, who knows how, but in a very coincidental time frame that helps the trial. When you're being tried in the court of public opinion, these videos always get leaked. Kareem Hunt video, leaked. Ray Rice video, leaked. And Tony and Baked In Boys both said the odds of this video being leaked are very high. If you're going to draft Alvin Kamara in the next couple weeks, and if you drafted him already and you took him at like 2.1, then I can't help you because I tried to say this from the beginning. I've been screaming this for months. And everybody just keeps going off the Schefter report. Oh, he's probably not going to get suspended this year. Complete guesswork. I mean, I'm doing guesswork here. I'm doing guesswork here too. But I'm trying to gather as much information as I can. And the only people are going to come in here and say that a suspension is going to for sure happen in 2023 and not 2022, they're Kamara owners. They already own Kamara. Video leaks, he's done. The spotlight gets too bright, he's put on paid leave, which isn't considered discipline. And the NFL is going to do it to get him off the field and to show that they're doing something. Busby just upped the ante in terms of that because now Busby, is coming with the spotlight. Busby's already calling for immediate action. This is the report that was on Mike Florio wrote. And I'll read it to you here. Currently, the authorities in Las Vegas are considering charges against Kamara. Saeed, thank you. I appreciate those super chats. I'm going to read them in just 1 second, guys. Are considering charges against Kamara and the others who took part in the brutal beating. The Busby law firm is actively collecting information regarding the assault. And again, this is from Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio. And has asked that the witnesses who have any information come forward. It has been reported that the assault was caught on security camera. So obviously we know that there's footage of it that exists. A lot of people keep saying this over and over. It's already out. The video already leaked. No, it didn't. Stop saying that. There are people that have had still shots and talked about it in videos, and people are misremembering. Full video has not been leaked. Once it's leaked, Kamara's done. The attack on Mr. Green was unprovoked and extremely violent, says Busby. We called on the appropriate authorities to exact swift punishment against all parties involved in the attack. We also encouraged the NFL to take immediate action as appropriate. We will make Mr. Green available to the authorities and the NFL to the extent they wish to speak to him. Have we not learned one thing? The NFL will do an independent investigation, most likely, very soon. And anybody that thinks this is going to blow over to 2023 because the trial the hearing got delayed. You already own Kamara. You're an Alvin Kamara owner. If you already own Alvin Kamara, I understand where you're coming from. But let's not act like just because this trial can't conclude until 2023 that nothing's going to happen. You're taking a huge risk. You either already took it and that's why you're defending it. If you are defending it, I'm not saying anybody in here is defending it yet. I haven't even read the chat. But if you think the NFL is not going to take action if this thing gets bad and put them on paid leave, you're very optimistic. And I think if you don't package in 6 games like we were originally doing all offseason long, especially the 6 games could come at the end of the season or middle. He could be raptured. If he gets raptured from the middle of the year, he's not coming back. So we'll take some voicemails. This one's from Kenny.
Hey, Smitty, just want to make sure we're on the same page that not having a team star running back in the lineup is a good thing for a possession wide receiver like Olave. This could really help him.
I don't know. I don't know that I would say that's for sure. I think that if a team like the Saints are down and they're throwing the ball a whole lot more, I could see it helping Olave, sure, but I don't think it's an easy formula to use and apply to any situation. I mean, honestly, I'd rather have a fully functioning offense that moves the football down the field for Olave than to have no Alvin Kamara. Honestly, I like quarterbacks go down. Oh, they're going to run the ball more. I don't prescribe to a team being hampered to helping a player's fantasy value. I think usually it goes the wrong direction. So okay, so hold on one second. We got people in here. I don't know if they're talking to me or talking in the way that they're talking to other individuals. But when you come in here and you tell people to, curse word, whatever, curse word, you're going to be removed. So a couple of you are gone. You don't come in here and talk to other people that way. I mean, you might be talking to me that way. I don't really care as much if you're talking to me that way. But you come in and you start talking to other people in the chat that way. It's not the way we roll. Let's see here. Tony Jones have any value? Who knows, bro? Who knows? Honestly, I don't know if Tony Jones or Ingram, if Ingram can even handle the workload. Not only are we not there yet, because Kamara is not suspended, we don't have any kind of for sure anything. I'm not recommending going out and getting or preparing for a Mark Ingram or some kind of savior running back situation to emerge from this. I'm not even there yet. We're so far away from that. No way I'm even going there right now. There's no benefit. If they traded for Kareem Hunt, or they traded for a player like that, then we have a whole different ballgame and discussion to have, But I would definitely say that if you're preparing to draft Kamara in 2022 and upcoming drafts, you want to take him at a value that anticipates a good 6-game suspension like you were previously. So that means bottom of round, you better be at the top of round 3 or somewhere like that. Not top of 2. He went in the first round. I saw a couple big analysts drafting him in round 1 over the weekend, which was absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then people have been drafting him at the top of 2 constantly. And I just scratch my head. Is there a chance that he doesn't see a single game suspension in 2022? Absolutely. But what does that roulette wheel look like? What does the roulette wheel look like for Alvin Kamara if we were to go draw that roulette wheel? If we were to sit here and go, okay, here's Alvin Kamara's roulette wheel. This is Kamara. And he had all these slots here. How many of these are going to be green check marks? Like, oh, he's a home run. How many are there? How many of them are going to be complete risk boxes? And how many of them will be, okay, he plays, 10, 12 games? Like Alvin Kamara's roulette wheel, this ball bouncing around, there's a high probability it lands in a spot with an X. Like if we were to equate it to a roulette wheel, he's got a lot of X's on these spots, people. I understand that it could land right here in a green checkmark box. I get that there's an opportunity for Alvin Kamara to get out of this without any suspension in 2022. That possibility exists. You need to know that. I'm not sitting here talking from a place of certainty. I don't know. No one knows. No one knows. No one could possibly know whether Alvin Kamara is going to be suspended or not. But when Busby gets involved, when Alvin Kamara's, the footage could leak at any moment. And as soon as that video's out, he is done. That video is so gruesome from people I trust that have talked to people that have seen it. And of course, you got a source and a source. I get all that. That's why this is not an X's across the board where Alvin Kamara's like done for sure. There's a potential that the people reporting on the video are wrong. There's a potential the video won't leak. There's a potential that the NFL just sits back and does nothing, even if it looks bad, and he plays all of 2022. There are opportunities on this roulette wheel where I'm going to be not wrong in a sense, but I'm going to be too overly cautious on him, and someone that drafts him at 2.2 wins their league. Is there that opportunity and chance? Absolutely. It's on the wheel. There's a certain amount of spots on the roulette wheel. If we were to equate Alvin Kamara's odds of playing and not playing to a roulette wheel, there's a certain number of spots where he could be fine. But I'm telling you right now, there's an uncomfortable amount of risks and X's on this roulette wheel for me to be drafting him as a high second round pick. Let's open up the phone lines and take some of your phone calls and talk about this. We're trying to stay on this topic for the moment. I know some of you might have fantasy questions, but you want to talk about this, call in, keep it clean.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL. Dong.
So we will be talking about Lamar. I saw Lamar in the chat. Kamara. Dial in if you want to discuss, and we will break it down the best we can. Again, nothing really has changed at all officially in the eyes of the NFL or anything, but Tony Busby will represent, reportedly, the victim of the alleged assault involving Alvin Kamara and his friends that beat this guy up. So, allegedly. We don't know about Mark Ingram, Daryl. It's tough to know. I mean, is he the guy to own right now? Maybe. But will that change? Will they trade for a player? We don't know. So where do I take him? I mean, if I take him at all, I'd take Alvin Kamara in literally one league. One league. And if I took him in one league, I'm taking him like I don't know, somewhere in round 3, like middle of 3, top of 4, and he's not going to fall there. So I'm probably not going to own him. A lot of it's just about a better player. There are better players to take. Hope everyone in the chat is having a great day, says Kurt. not Kamara drafters, but I mean, this was already known. Your boy Smitty's come out here for a month straight beating this drum. And here we are. Look, I hope I don't know what I hope, because I don't want to say I hope anything good if this is, all true, which I believe it is, because there's a video for it. So I'm not gonna say I hope it works out for Kamara. I hope it works out for the way it's supposed to work out. But as for Ingram, I don't know. Ingram's a tough player to rank right now, because we don't know what his status is going to be a month from now. We don't know what his availability is going to be, his ability to play full games. And not to mention, there's a chance that if anything happens to Kamara, it's not in week 1. So it could be so far from this point, we can't really talk about who's going to be the backup, if it's Tony Jones or who whatever player could be traded for. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Smitty, it's Jake.
What's up, Jake?
Yes, just another day. I'm actually out of Boston, Massachusetts. I figured I'd let you know, because I know you're trying to kind of get a feel from where
all Boston. Okay,
from.
Nice. We got a lot of East Coast people. It's crazy.
Yeah, and just adding to the numbers. Honestly, it's funny too, because I remember you saying like when you go live, it's pretty late out here. But I guess the hardcore fans are definitely on the East Coast, eh?
Yep. So what you got?
Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the Kamara situation, because a lot of my friends I'm drafting with are pretty high on Kamara, especially since it's a PPR setting. But I'm kind of with you. I feel like, for a guy whose ADP is at 9 right now on ESPN, the risk is just way too high for me. And I know like the video could get leaked by prosecution. It's looking even more likely that's probably going to happen.
Yeah, Busby
during the season.
Yeah, I'm not saying Busby himself. Well, like I'm not trying to but like this guy is a good attorney. He knows how to use the media, and he knows how to use the momentum of things. He knows how to space out bad news, essentially. And when things would get better for Watson, another bomb would drop. And so this is the NFL's worst nightmare, because this guy makes a splash.
Yeah, and to me, I don't even really think Kamara is a first-round value, like especially on that offense. So I don't know. It's just not really worth it for me. Would I maybe consider him like third-round value? I mean, that's probably where I'd be comfortable taking him. But like at this point, I feel like the ADP rising is just so detached from what his true value is. I don't know what your thoughts on that are.
Well, I mean, if let's say Alvin Kamara was cleared of all charges or whatever, like let's say the video came out and he shook his hand and like, this isn't it. This didn't happen. Like, let's just say in a fairy tale world, he would be, in my eyes, easily worth a late first round pick. Easily. Now, I feel like, there are a lot of good players that even if Alvin Kamara is healthy on the field playing a full season, that can give him a run for his money. I'd rather have Javonte. I'd rather have Javonte over Alvin Kamara, even if Alvin Kamara were cleared of all the charges. You can disagree with that. You can act like that's, crazy early and you haven't, you don't know what you're going to get out of Javonte. I don't care. I know what I see in Javonte, and I trust in Javonte. As for, Swift and Chase and all of these individuals that are arguable over Kamara anyway, like I don't think he passes any of those guys just because he's cleared of charges or something. But the bottom line is he's not going to be cleared of the charges. And even if he pleads out, and I've had 2 attorneys on to explain this, but you have people like Schefter dropping, the news as if they've, I mean, I'm not saying Schefter's not bright. I'm not saying Schefter hasn't talked to the right people, but when he says that most likely the suspension won't be considered in 2022, because the hearing was moved. You know, a trial beginning is bad enough PR that the NFL may act. I don't understand why people are drawing conclusions about him being suspended in 2023 when no one has any idea what's going to happen. And the videos always leak, man. The Ray Rice video leaked.
Yeah.
The Hunt video leaked. Busby's involved. You know, like what do people think is going to happen? That this video is not going to leak if it's advantageous for the prosecution. It's going to leak. And I've talked to individuals that I feel very comfortable with in terms of the knowledge of the possession of videos as they like change custody, you know. And it's not like they're on lockdown, bro. For the longest time, these videos are just they're not confined and held in like the most secure way, you know, until they reach a certain party. It's like it's not what people think.
Yeah, what really bothers me about like situations like this is NFL fans' disregard for the court of law. Like, I feel like, and I'm not sure what your take on the whole like Schefter drama over like the last few years in his reporting is, but like I feel like people take like what Schefter and Rappaport say right off the bat as like gospel, and they disregard what can happen in a court case. And to me, like, I don't know, like that almost feels disrespectful to the situation because we don't really know what's going to happen from this point on. And it's like, okay, well, Schefter says this, it has to be true. That's not always the case.
Yeah. And you know, and let me also say I have respect for Schefter and Rappaport, and let me also defend them in one way, even though I'm telling you I agree with you. But like when you report on as many things as like I report on or Schefter or you know, like I'm always talking about something, bro. Do you think I'm not putting my foot in my mouth or, you know, misunderstanding something? Like I'm a human being, and I probably got some of this wrong. You know, the way I'm describing it, there's always going to be. I don't pretend to be a know-it-all in every facet of everything, and I try and gather as much as I can. And the first thing I thought of is let's get my two attorney boys on here to talk about this situation rather than read Rappaport's tweet and say, okay, or Schefter's tweet and say, this is the way it is. You know, like when Schefter says, suspension is not likely in 2022, and everybody goes out and starts drafting, I feel obligated to find out if that's true. Because in my own mind, without even talking to the two attorneys that we brought on the show, Tony and Baked In Boys, without bringing them on, my initial reaction is, okay, if this video leaks, he's done. You know, without even talking to them. If the video leaks, he's done. And this trial being moved forward, everybody thinking because the NFL traditionally wants to wait until things play out in court before they dish out discipline. The fact that people take that as they won't put them on paid leave is crazy because they don't want bad press. They can't afford it. And if this guy's going to go out and beat someone unconscious with his friends and then reportedly, we got to see the video, which I'm sure will leak, kick him. And I believe the report is, and we don't know if this is true yet, it's reported that he may have kicked the individual at least one time. His individual's also kicking the guy while he was unconscious on the ground. And there's reports, I don't know if they're true, they're reports, we don't know how accurate anything is, we don't have the footage in front of us, that Kamara might have attacked him or striked him 8 times or more. So, you know, we'll see. And the story is, and we don't know if this is true because we don't have the video, but there's probably some kind of altercation. If I had to guess, the guy was heckling Kamara verbally. If I had to guess, you know, where he's like, you know, blah, 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 you did this, you're, you know, whatever. And then Kamara probably had enough. And I don't blame him for having enough, but he put his hand on him. Like from reports, you know, take the next elevator, bro. And the guy, because Kamara put his hand on him, the guy slapped his hand away. And then as soon as he did that, Entourage and Kamara just started taking him down.
You know, it's an unfortunate part of it, but I feel like, you know, when you are the public figure, it doesn't exactly matter like what the other person does. It's kind of like up to your responsibility and obligation to, like, the conduct policies of the league, conduct yourself in a way, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, like, regardless of what the other guy did, I'm not saying it's going to be justified if we do get the footage what the other guy did, but it's almost like the public won't care.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, just my advice to people is, okay, let me preface again in saying that I don't know how this is going to play out. Could he potentially not see a single game suspension in 2022? Absolutely. I got to get these super chats, too. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. Who's still here? I have a super chat from Saeed. JB just super chatted. And Rush Prime super chatted. Okay. Let me get to these. Rush, are you still here? Saeed, you're still here, right? And Michael, appreciate Michael. One of my OGs said, Kamara was an avoid for you going into the season. You'd rather have Breece Hall, Etienne, or Javante. Absolutely agree. And I've said that for a while, even with Breece Hall. Like, I'd rather have Breece Hall than Kamara. And people are like, what? And I think some people will still say that. But most people that say that already own some share of Kamara, you know? Like, anybody coming in here that'll say the same casual, repeated line, the hearing was moved. Like, you come in and there, it's like capital letters. It's like, the hearing was moved, don't you know? Nothing's going to happen until 2023. That's the optimistic Oscar coming in here. Optimistic Oscar, who's already drafted him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel bad for Oscar. I feel bad for the Oscar coming in here because he already drafted. It's like, what do you expect? Like, I don't blame him.
Oh, that's cool.
All right, Jake.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's already got his draft capital in there. And I am going to let you go, but everyone slap that thumbs up button. Get the algorithm rolling.
Slap it.
To the moon.
Yeah, 79 people have slapped it. But there's over 210 eyeballs in here, so we need some more slappage.
All right, have a nice day, Smitty.
Later, Jake. Thanks for calling. Call anytime. Jake from Boston. Okay, so super chat. Saeed, are you still here? I apologize. Rush, I'm sorry I delayed on this. Saeed, I'm sorry. I appreciate your super chats. I don't want you guys to think, I'm not super chatting Smitty again. He doesn't respond. I respond. I was just in the middle of a rant. Let's give Saeed and Rush Prime and Jeb the proper standing ovation for their super chats.
Let's go, mashed potatoes! Yeah, buddy.
Okay, let's get I'm gonna get to your call in a second. I gotta answer these super chats first. Hey, this is like when you go to a restaurant and you're in line and you've been waiting. Hold on one second, bro. And you've been waiting and somebody's like calling on the phone and the person that's been waiting in line in person has been patiently waiting, and the person that helps that person puts that person in front of you when they're just calling. You know, they're like, hello? Yeah, I'm sorry, you've been waiting in line for 15 minutes. The person just called. How can I help you? That's not me. I'm not doing that to Saeed. Hey, Smitty, I have Superflex Dynasty auction soon. How should I go about it? Who to target? Roughly how much do I spend on who? 2 stud QB or what? So Superflex auction. This is tough. I would say Davis Mills is your friend for your second quarterback. If it's a Superflex and not a mandatory 2 QB, you get a little more wiggle room and ability to roll the dice on Davis Mills. Because if he doesn't work out, so if he doesn't work out, then that would be genius if that was Kamara's defense. Seriously, though, it should be. What should be his defense? I'm going to say, thank you, Sawyer. I'm going to say definitely bid on one quarterback. Go after Burrow. Wait till Burrow is called out. Don't call Burrow out. Let people spend their money, Saeed. Don't be the guy that calls your favorite player out early on when people have money, and then Burrow goes for $28 instead of you waiting until people spend all their dollars. Look, Burrow is the 7th or 8th ranked quarterback in most formats. ESPN pre-rank list, 7th or 8th quarterback. What does that tell you? He's probably not getting called out by random Bob or random Joe. They're going to wait. They're going to be calling out Mahomes and Josh Allen and Herbert. Let everybody spend their money, bro. And then you swoop. And then when Burrow gets called out naturally by somebody deep into the draft, then he's going to go for like $8 to $10. Okay, so you get, or in a super flex, probably go for like 20. Maybe he will get called out more toward the beginning because of super flex, but he'll at least get called out after like 6 or 7 quarterbacks get called out. I would say in a super flex he goes for $30, which is a steal in a super flex auction. I didn't mean to say 12. I was thinking 1 QB. Still a little early for Smitty. Brain's not fully functioning. But I would say like get Burrow, get Jalen Hurts, get Trey Lance, get one of those guys, and then roll light as your QB2. Go after Davis Mills when everybody spent all their money and you saved a little bit, and you go after Davis Mills. I'm going after Javonte. I'm going after Breece Hall. I'm going after ETN. I'm going after Jamar Chase. Try and get Jamar Chase and Burrow, then try and get some running backs in between ETN, Breece Hall. That's how I would attack that. But you really got to go with the flow and don't sit out on guys like JT or Jefferson just because you're not targeting them necessarily, or maybe you aren't, or maybe you are. Always be actively involved because somebody might let somebody go way too cheap, and you don't want to be sitting there going, why didn't anybody else bid? He got him for $52 instead of what should have been like $65. Always be active. Don't ever bid on a guy you're not willing to keep at that value, though. Because then that's how you get Dalvin Cook all of a sudden. You're like, I'm going to rack Dalvin Cook up 75. And then nobody bids and you get Dalvin Cook for 75. Don't do that. Don't bid unless you're willing to own him. JB, thank you for the super chat. If you've got a question, please ask me and I'll look for it. Appreciate you, JB. Rush Prime, please rate my team. QB, Allen. Wide receiver, JJ. Wide receiver 2, Gabe Davis. Running back 1, Breece Hall. Running back 2, Monty. I'm not big on Monty. Make sure you have Herbert, which you do have. Good job. Goddard, flex is Stevenson, bench is Pierce. I like the team. I mean, Allen, JJ, Hall, it's good. And, you know, Monty's the vulnerable part here. I think Monty is a very big risk, but you have Herbert, so you should be okay. But I would say if I'm you, I'm exploring the idea of trading, just exploring the idea of trading Josh Allen if you can get yourself into a Burrow and some. Now, what's that and some? It's got to be something significant. Or if you could get yourself into a Trey Lance and some, it'd have to be significant. Not a low-end running back too. I'm talking about a major upgrade. Like I would have rather had, instead of Josh Allen, I would have rather had a Tyreek Hill and then Joe Burrow later. That's why I say Joe Burrow is the best value in fantasy football, because it affords you the ability to get a Tyreek Hill around 2 or 3 wherever you're getting the Josh Allen value, you know, or an auction that Josh Allen dollars could equate to a wide receiver and then a very cheap quarterback. I'm a big early quarterback advocate, but Joe Burrow is an early quarterback that's going in the late quarterback group. So this year's a little different. JB, I see your questions here. I got you. So I'd say your team, like I'm gonna be honest, Prime. You're sending the super chat not for me to grease the wheels. You want me to give you the honest feedback. You are one move away. You need one move. That one move could potentially come from your own bench, like Pierce rising up and being a top 5 to 10 running back. Stevenson, same thing. That could come from your bench. Oh, you got Trey Lance. If this is 2 QB, then you're in a much better position. But if it's 1 QB, I trade Josh Allen and I keep Trey Lance. Trade Josh Allen, if it's even possible, for a player that would be drafted around him that I really, really like. You know, like would I take a Javonte Williams for Josh Allen? Absolutely. Would I give up something like Monty? Maybe. You know what I mean? Like get Lance and Javonte into your lineup instead of Josh Allen and Monty. That's kind of where I'm headed with that. So that's where I would kind of take that if I'm you. You know, bring it to me maybe if you have questions. Don't overpay, but you know what I'm saying. JB, 2 QB, Burrow, Stafford, Mills. I like the Mills pick. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
What's up, Smitty? It's Mike.
Mike, what's up, man? Hey, Mike, hold on 1 second. Let me just get through the super chat. Hang tight. Adams, CeeDee Lamb, St. Brown, Dobbs. Love the Dobbs pick. Jonathan Taylor, Najee, Javante. What? Jonathan Taylor, Najee, and Javante? And Adams and CeeDee Lamb? What is this? What is this? Is this one of those, like, you go to the sports bar and it's like check all your favorite players and enter your best lineup? Like, what? This doesn't even have league mates in this league. There's no way this is even a two-person league. CeeDee Lamb, Adams, Burrow, Superflex. I mean, I don't know. JB, you probably got the first 10 out of 10 grade on a team, which I'm not saying. I don't know how. I don't know if this is real. I don't know, but if it is real, you get an absolute 10.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Unbelievable. I got to get in some of these leagues. What's up? You said this is Mike?
Yeah.
Where are you calling from, Mike?
Just to comment on Kamara. You know, I've done a couple mock drafts already, and I've seen him go as early as, you know, the top 7 and as late as the second round. And to be honest with you, unless I'm getting Jonathan Taylor, I'm targeting either Chase or Jefferson. And between the two, I'm actually fading Chase because I like the idea of having Higgins in the third round if possible. But for where he's going, I mean, I've had drafts where I've got Jefferson and Debo, Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. You know, and I'd rather have more of a short thing than, you know, because you're right. As soon as this video drops, that's it. He's put on the exempt list, and you might as well just release him at that point.
Yeah. Hey, this is my boy. This is my boy, Mike. Oh, okay. I didn't know this is you, Mike. I thought this is just a regular Mike, not a super Mike.
No.
Yeah, this is a supersized Mike. Appreciate you calling. I agree with you. I disagree with the Jamar Chase thing. I love Jamar Chase, but I get look. The wind blows a certain way. JJ's my number one moment. Chase is my number one another moment. But like Alvin Kamara and those guys, that's not even in the conversation. Like even if Kamara came out tomorrow that he was cleared of all charges, I'm still drafting both those guys over Kamara anyway. I think where I think people are considering him, you know, maybe before this video, if you're watching this video at least, and people that aren't watching this video are still believing everything they're hearing from Schefter and everything. I think people are considering him around 2.1, 2.2, so Javante. And I think, you know, I already read your comment, and I know your fantasy football tendencies because you're a monster, especially at trading and all that. Javante, it's just not even close, you know, especially with the risk. Even if the risk was off the table, I'm still taking Javante over Kamara. But with the risk on the table here, like, how are people even considering Alvin Kamara over Javante? Even people not watching this video, like, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I'd rather have Swift over.
Oh yeah,
Kamara at that point too.
I mean, Swift's a first rounder.
They're ranked similarly, so.
Yeah, I mean, what are you thinking right now? What are you thinking? Like late third round? Like I know you and I probably won't own Kamara from this moment moving forward because we're gonna be so much further away from the ADP. There's just no way he's falling to us. But like, where would your line in the sand be right now in this moment, knowing what we know now, knowing Busby's now representing the victim, knowing that if the video leaked, he'd be done? Like, where would you take him in one league if you were going to, let's say, grab him? Would it be like 3.5?
You know, there's a lot of factors. It depends who I got from rounds 1 and 2. But the way I've been drafting, if you're saying 3.5, I usually have 2 receivers by then. And honestly, as Kamara's my RB1, yeah, that looks good on paper. But with the thought of him just getting, you know, could be suspended at any point, I don't think I'd touch him. The only way I'm drafting Kamara is if we know he's suspended for X amount of games and he falls where I can draft him as my RB3, RB4.
Bro, that's the thing.
And then it kind of levels the risk.
And that's the thing. He was safer when people were expecting six games. You knew what you were dealing with. Right now, you don't know what you're dealing with. It could be a mid-season rapture that you're not prepared for ADP-wise. You're not prepared for in terms of your backups and your draft style. People are drafting Kamara under the assumption that they won't need him, need somebody to step in for 6, 8, 10 games. They're drafting him under the assumption that everything's full go. Everything's normal. Not going to be a big deal. He's going to be out there. I'm going to have him the whole season. If you think he's out, if you know for sure he's out 8 games, that is safer than drafting him right now. You're right. I mean, that's the best way to put it. Like, I'd rather know what I'm dealing with so I can package in the risk. There's no ability to package in anything. You don't even know. He could play 4 games. He could start week 1, and then everybody thinks everything's good. He's starting. That means everything's good. The trial can't conclude until 2023. He's fine. No, he's not. He could be ripped from week 4 and never return. He could play less games in this scenario than if he was slapped a 6 to 8 game suspension earlier.
Yeah, because that exempt list is scarier than any suspension. Because if like you've been saying, if that video, let's say, I don't know, 2 days before week 1, that video drops, he's on the exempt list and he's not coming back. Like, there's no way that they're going to have a ruling settled. If they're just going to let the system play itself out. And now you're looking at how long is he going to be suspended in 2023?
Yeah.
That's like the thing with him. And to be honest with you, I don't see the risk like way overshadows the upside, because if I'm getting, like I said, if I'm getting Jefferson and a Diggs, Jefferson and Debo, Jefferson and Lamb, and then I'm getting Breece Hall as my RB1. I like those 3 guys because, like I've always put into perspective, if he gets suspended, now you just wasted a pick.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Even Jerome just said it here, and I've been saying this for months. It's not about, like, even remove Kamara from the equation to some degree. It's not about Kamara. It's about other players. There are safer players that I like more where Kamara's going, even if he's going, let's say, 2.8, not 2.1. He's going 2.1, 1.11. I want to say I saw something where Adam Rank took him, like, in the first round the other night. It's like, I don't understand. Like, there's so many safer players, especially if you're talking at the round 1-2 turn. There's Lamb, there's Diggs, there's Javonte, there's Swift. Like, those are no-brainers. Even if Kamara came back tomorrow with no suspension guarantee, he was going to play all games, I'm still drafting Swift over him. I'm still drafting Javonte over him. He's going to be in the top of round 2 if he was playing all games guaranteed. But, like, for him to have all this risk, honestly, I'd rather have ETN in a heartbeat over Kamara right now. In a heartbeat. Like, there's no risk. Oh, yeah. There's risk with Kamara. There's risk with any running back, but no risk in terms of, like, that we know of right now for ETN. So it's a slant. Like, my line in the sand is when ETN, Breece Hall, all those guys are gone. Then I would maybe in one league, because I'm feeling crazy, I would take him in one league, only one league. I don't want any part of it.
I honestly think the move is you just fade Kamara completely, and if you really want to be aggressive, trade for him.
Yeah, when someone's freaking out.
Especially,
and that's a total you move. That's a total you move too. Like, just come in and scoop them up from some panicked owner, and then you're gonna be texting me on the 101 text line, which this guy's a loyal diehard from the beginning of that text line. You're gonna text me saying, "Hey, Smitty, you know how we said stay away from Kamara? I just got Kamara for, I don't know." You're gonna tell me, like, you picked up somebody off waivers and you got Kamara for him.
Yeah, I mean, I've been shocked with some of how these drafts have turned out. Just watching people's strategies and stuff like that. Because my strategy has changed a lot since 2020 when I first started using, your content and stuff like that. Like I fade the running backs like heavy because I hate playing the game of, oh, well, if I draft this guy, I better make sure I have, 2 or 3 other running backs or his handcuffs. Like I'd rather have, like, give me the wide receivers, give me the dominant quarterback or tight end, and I'll figure out the running back later on because someone's bound to get hurt.
One of the first conversations I remember having with you was JT and going after JT when he was super undervalued. And that was the year, his rookie year, I believe, where he didn't really fully get unlocked and we didn't really get a sense of what he was going to do. Like, we knew what he could do, but he wasn't fully delivering on that. But I remember talking about that. And that's the way I look at it, too. Like, the ETNs, the Breece Halls, I'm more about that value than going and chasing, that top value. Although, like Javonte has every bit that JT upside that everybody saw, but wasn't sure if it was going to come to fruition or worried about Hines. I mean, everybody knew JT had top 5 to 10 potential, but nobody wanted to go near it. Nobody wanted to go near it, just like nobody wants to go near Javonte at top 1 to 5 value. But people will have foggy memories, and people like us are going to be sitting there going, hey, remember when you didn't like Javonte as a top 5 running back? And every single person we say that to is going to go, no, I liked him. I thought he could be top 1 to 5. I did. I just thought, I didn't know when. Everyone's going to pretend to be on the train, bro.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. I look at the rankings now, and Javonte is way undervalued. Everyone's freaking out because they bring back Melvin Gordon. They're like, oh, well, they're going to split carries again. Personally, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be more of like a 70-30 type split. But the most important thing is Russell Wilson is the biggest key, because Javonte will never see a stack box ever. No one's going to be game planning of how to stop Javonte, because you got Alberto, you got the 2 receivers. Now you got Hamler that's going to be running around like a nut. Like I love Javonte this year. I'm actually surprised. In the league today, I got him in the 3rd round.
Hey, Sean says you would take Javonte over Kamara if Kamara was to play every game this season? ? That's ridiculous. You act like Melvin Gordon doesn't exist. Hey, Sean, let me make it real abundantly clear for you, just so you know what channel you're watching, because this may not be the channel for you after I tell you. Javonte Williams could be the number 1 overall running back in 2022, pal. Number 1, not number 2. Not number 3, number 1. In my mind, this guy has so much potential that I'll be disappointed if Javonte is the number 1 or number 2 running back. So I just want to clarify, Sean, and pile it on top of what you already think is ridiculous to let you know how much more ridiculous I am. Just so you know up front. Anything else you got?
No, I mean, other than that, no. It's just I will not touch Kamara. I don't care. I mean, you either got to put him on waivers, or I got to get like a super cheap steal of a trade.
Yeah.
It's just too much of a risk to me. That's just where I stand.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not going near him. There's no way he's going to be anywhere near my line in the sand. My line in the sand is after ETN, after Breece Hall, after. I'm trying to think of even wide receivers that are that late, like A.J. Brown. Take A.J. Brown over Kamara in a heartbeat. And those are all 3rd round players. Those are all 3rd round players. Yep. Like, so 4th round. Like, maybe Kamara in 4th round, maybe. I mean, Breece Hall. Is Breece Hall still there in the 4th round? Because he had 1 carry for what? Like 5 yards or something or whatever. Or he had a couple carries for 1 yard or whatever. So people are going to freak out again. Maybe Breece Hall falls to round 4. Guess what? I'm taking Breece Hall over Kamara. So it's going to go on and on and on.
100%.
Hey, before you go, I'd be very interested in your take on this. Yesterday we talked about that report. Where's that report? Let me put it on screen if I can find it real quick. This report right here, it says, oh no, that was Dobbs. This report we're going to talk about later. Aaron Rodgers talking about Dobbs. I love Dobbs. Here's this report right here. Matt LaFleur, Packers head coach, said Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon are the 1A and 1A. What are your thoughts on Aaron Jones right now? Are you thinking? I kind of feel like he's getting a little overdrafted, and it's not that I don't think Aaron Jones could deliver. Like my roulette wheel example, if he's a roulette wheel, he's got a lot of spots that have a big green check mark. You know, so I'm very aware that Aaron Jones could catch 90 passes in this offense where it doesn't have Devontae Adams. But I feel like there's more red X's, like bust X's on this roulette wheel that we're going to spin than people are giving him, than people are attaching to his, ADP value. Because I feel like 12, 13, 14, 15 is where he's going right now. And if you've got a coach calling him 1A and 1A, you know that means that Dillon's going to get some receiving work too. It's not like we're guaranteed to have them both on the field at all times, guaranteed to have a 90 reception Aaron Jones. It could be a rotation that we don't understand and we're throwing our hands up and saying, why not get them both on the field? I just feel like there's a little more risk that I'm comfortable with around the 2.2 to 2.5. I liked him at the turn. When he climbed up into the turn, I was feeling pretty good about it. But now I feel like we're paying a little bit higher price tag. Do you agree or disagree? I just want to get your take.
It's all about preference. Like I'm an Aaron Jones guy. I like Aaron Jones. But if you're going to give me the two based on value, I'm taking A.J. Dillon all day long because I've gotten him so late in drafts as opposed to Aaron Jones, and I just feel like you said, like a 1A and a 1A. Even if Jones does get more of the work in total, like Dillon proved last year that he can produce, and if he's on your benches, like I don't know, you draft Pollard or you have Dillon as your RB4, I think you're sitting pretty. Like Jones is getting drafted kind of around where Kelsey was, Tyreek Hill. In this latest draft, Swift went 2 spots before him. Mark Andrews, you got Javonte.
Yeah.
I like all those names over Aaron Jones just because of the value that you can get in Dillon. And that's like the same way I feel like I love like Ramondre Stevenson. Brian Robinson's a guy I've been taking like last round.
I love
a lot of guys have caught on to Damian Pierce.
You're not getting Brian Robinson in the last round anymore. He's probably climbing to like I would say 8 to 10, and then he's going to go higher and higher.
Yeah.
Gibson and him will swap soon, but people, the casuals don't know that transition's happened. But Gibson, like as much as Gibson's in a void, like he's a 7th to 8th round player. He's starting to look like a really good super handcuff at some point. Like once Gibson becomes the official handcuff and he gets taken later than B-Rob, all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute. Let me turn my brain off and turn it back on and look at this from a fresh perspective. Antonio Gibson's one of the best handcuffs in fantasy football. Like all of a sudden, Yeah. Sean, hold on. Sean had to interject again. Sean, I just want you to know where you're at, bro. I want you to read the room. Because, I appreciate you being here. I'm not saying I want you gone or anything. I just want you to know you don't obviously understand how much I like Javonte, so let me clarify it again for you. He says Melvin Gordon will get more touches than the second back on the Saints. Okay, I don't know what that's relating to. But he says this guy, meaning me, this guy, you can speak to me too. I'm reading your comments. This guy acts like he would take Javonte over CMC. No, Sean, I would take Javonte. I'm not acting like anything. This isn't me pretending or putting on a theatrical performance. I would take Javonte over CMC, Sean. I don't just follow the sheep to slaughter or the lambs to slaughter or whatever. I'll march to my own drum, the beat of my own drum, Sean. Okay? And no, I'm not new. I'm not new to the fantasy business, by the way, if that's what you're thinking. So it's called ahead of the curve, outside of the box thinking, and I don't care what anybody thinks about what I say. And Javonte over CMC all day long. I don't think it. I know it. I'm taking it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, Sean. All right, Mike. Appreciate you, my man.
Yeah, no problem.
Later. I think Sean might have just found us. Sean, let me show you something that might change your mind. There's a little man called Javonte Williams that is on a shuttle to Mars.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
Let me ask you a question, Sean. Do you see Melvin Gordon on the Mars men list?
Dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
The answer is no. Do you see Christian McCaffrey on the Mars men list? I don't think you do. Sean, I don't think you do. Javonte is a Mars man. Get used to it, Sean. Javonte is on another galaxy. I know. Some people don't know. Some people don't know that McCaffrey literally, like McCaffrey? Is this the same guy that people DM me about and say, hey, Smitty, are we going? Like someone that doesn't know the content that comes stumbling in, which is fine. And we welcome new people all the time. Sean, I hope you pitch your tent here. I say welcome home, Sean. You might say goodbye. I say welcome home. You say goodbye. Okay? But if it's funny because there are people that will come in here and say something like, and guys, be nice to Sean. I want Sean to stay. But they come in and say, Smitty, we taking JT or Christian McCaffrey at the 1 pick. As if I'm on board this conversation. Are we taking, like it's narrowed down and decided that Christian McCaffrey is a top 5 pick? I don't think so. This guy's shown up for 2 years. You think I'm going to put him in my top 5? You think I'm going to put Christian McCaffrey in my top 5?
Wrong. Muy mal.
I don't think so. Sean, I hope you stay. Welcome home, Sean. Welcome home. Welcome, Sean. We all got jokes in here. Yeah, it's all good. I want Sean to stay. Saquon or Javonte? Okay, let me ask you a question. What do you think I'm going to say based on all that? Saquon's a 3rd rounder, bro, in my mind. I know some of you are taking him in the 2nd round. Guys, made of glass. Hopefully that glass is hardened into steel, okay? But if I just told you Javonte could be the number 1 overall player in fantasy football 2022, what do you think I'm going to say here, pal? And I just showed you the Mars men list. Is Saquon on the Mars men shuttle?
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
No, I don't see him. Anybody see Saquon?
Loads dropping and spinning aimlessly in space.
I don't see him. Attaboy. Look at Hay. Hay's a good sport. Hay's like Javonte. Duh. That's right, buddy. Appreciate you. No, I salute you. I work for you. The crazy part is I work for Sean. Sean just doesn't know it yet. I work for Sean. Is ETN on the shuttle? ETN is here.
The moon men dropping loads in outer space.
Payload delivered.
Space monsters.
Payload's being delivered as we speak. And guys, be nice to Sean. We want Sean to pitch his tent here. I'm hoping Jamar Chase or Swift falls to me at the 11 pick. I mean, Chase is hard to imagine falling. Swift can fall. ETN to the moon, absolutely. Smitty, do you draft Melvin Gordon to handcuff to Javonte? If the price is right, I don't go out of my way to do it, but if the price is right, a lot of times Melvin goes so high that I'm looking at St. Brown, I'm looking at Burrow, I'm looking at those guys I want in my lineup, Schultz, Dalton Schultz. I'm not messing around with Melvin Gordon, a backup, when you can get those hardcore starters. 144 people in the chat right now. Appreciate everybody. Wipe your feet. 125 thumbs up. Let's get that to match a little closer if we can. Javonte to Mars, no doubt about it. No doubt about it.
He's on a shuttle to Mars. Mars men.
Melvin Gordon.
And off he goes to the planet known as Uranus.
Talk about Damian Pierce, Dylan?
The moon men dropping loads.
You mean this guy?
Space.
Damian Pierce,
Space
baby.
Monsters.
Damian Pierce is excited. Of course, we love Damian Pierce, bro. Damian Pierce is a moon man. He's a moon man for sure. Jace, appreciate you and your super chat. Oh, this is a super chat. I was just reading it. Jace. Appreciate your super chat, buddy boy. Please talk some Damian Pierce. Let's talk a little Damian Pierce. I just showed you he's a moon man. I would say, Dylan, we're looking at a crafty running back 3 flex option. Like, I'm paying flex value at this point for Damian. I'm paying flex value for Damian. And I feel like I'm going to expect flex value. I've got high expectations for Damian. He's going to drop monster numbers in 2022. I really, really like him. I think the Houston Texans are very undervalued as well. Very undervalued. 254 in here. Please hit that thumb up button. Just finished a mock draft where I land. This is almost too long, crazy world, but because you're my boy, I want to make sure I read it. I landed Josh Allen, Diggs, Gabe Davis. If I could manage that in a live draft to the moon. Yeah, it depends on where you're drafting Gabe, though. Don't draft him too high. I've had people tell me they're drafting him in the 4th round, and that's way too high. I like the stack idea. I like Chase and Burrow, too. That's my favorite stack. Pierce in the 7th round, Kurt, definitely could happen. I've seen him go in 7, 8, 9. All over the place. Niner says Lance to the moon. Absolutely. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to? Hello? Goodbye. Just handcuffed Melvin to Javonte. Got him in the 13th. That's perfect. I'd grab Melvin in round 13. No problem. No question about it. Lock it in. But like in like the 8, 9, like when I could grab Damian Pierce, no. It just depends on where he's going. You bet, Dylan. Thank you, Terry. Appreciate you, Terry. I still think Henry will... Moldy's yelling at me in capital letters. I still think Henry will be rushing leader this year. Comeback player of the year. Moldy, just like I said, let me give you the example of the roulette wheel. Every single player is a roulette wheel, my friend, my son. Every single player is a roulette wheel. Derrick Henry is a roulette wheel. Derrick Henry has X number of roulette spots, okay? Derrick Henry, in my opinion, has more potential bust spots than he does. Try back one more time. I missed the call. I'm sorry. Derrick Henry has more potential bust spots on the roulette wheel than he does home run spots. Okay? And let's even call a couple of these indifferent spots. And the indifferent spots would be where he probably, gets hurt like in week 10, but delivers for like majority of the season. So Derrick Henry, that ball is bouncing around the roulette wheel. The odds of it falling in one of these spots is high. Is there a chance Derrick Henry delivers? Sure. But the thing I'd say to you is what's going against him and what's going for him. The only thing going for him is he's built different. That he's a monster. I get all that. Like that's not tangible. What's tangible is he's got a 400 carry season that broke him. A 2,000 yard carry 2,000 yard season in the same 400 carry season that broke him. Plate in his foot. Coming back from that. Potentially losing a step. Yards per carry dip from 2020 to 2021. Getting older. He's past the age barrier of running backs where this is arguably, if it is his last year, it is arguably for, the year where he dips or he dips right at the end of it. His age and the mileage both together scream avoid to me. Scream avoid. Not just I worry about him. They scream avoid because there's two big red flags. He's too old. for a running back to endure that level of production. It's just it's hard. He's gonna be hard pressed to stay healthy. It's not his fault. But when you get to that certain point and the mileage that he has, even from high school, all the mileage from high school, I believe he had the 5th highest carry season in college football in 1 year. So that, all the high school mileage, all the pro mileage, doesn't matter if he was used a little in the beginning of his career. And the last 2.5 years, not even a 3-year window, 2.5 years, the dude has got 920 plus carries in 2.5 seasons, bro. That's unreal. You know how many carries Christian McCaffrey has to his name? And I know he catches the ball a lot too, but it just for perspective, Christian McCaffrey has under 800 career carries. Under 800 career carries. And Derrick Henry, not on his NFL career, on just the last 2.5 seasons, he has 920 plus carries. More than Christian McCaffrey in a 2.5 year window. So trust him if you want. I'm not mad at it. You're not taking a lap over it. It's certainly arguable, but the odds, I believe, are forever in my favor on this one. Michael O with the monster $20 hauler. Michael.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Michael says 3 QB wide receiver stacks I like this year. Burrow, Chase, definitely the best in my opinion. Or Higgins is a good alternative. Agreed. Where's my agreed. High upside Hurts and AJ Brown. Agreed. Lance Ayuk. I like that, but I like the Lance and Debo better. Agreed. Love all three. Marco, appreciate you. I'm the 4th pick overall. Who am I drafting, Smitty? Love the show. If Jamar Chase or JJ are there, in either order, you could go JJ 1. You could go Chase, over him. But if either of those guys are there, if you want to go RB, if you're dead set on RB, you need RB, it's the way you draft best, you know yourself, then I honestly go Najee Harris. But if you think you could get Javonte in round 2, if you're drafting with a bunch of magazine drafters, bro, I would go after Javonte in round 2 without hesitation. Even if you get a running back, I go Javonte in round 2. But Chase or Jefferson's very safe in PPR. If it's PPR, if it's non-PPR, I probably lean Najee. Why are experts ranking Debo so low? Your guess is better than mine. Not as good as mine. Your guess is better than mine. I have no clue why experts are ranking Debo so low. Debo Samuel is playing wide back. Debo Samuel, if he isn't playing wide back, is doing more damage through the air. Debo Samuel was 5th in the NFL in yardage. Debo Samuel was number 1 in the NFL in yards per catch. Debo Samuel was number 2 in the NFL in yak yards. Debo Samuel was like 1st or 2nd in 20 and 40 plus yard catches. Somewhere around the 1 to 2 rank for both of those categories. What are people thinking? Doubting Debo. Could he get hurt? Sure. That part I get. He had a lot of mileage up the gut that he shouldn't have got, and no one wants him running up the gut. That's running back carries. That's not wide back carries. That's running back carries. He's not playing running back anymore. It's a big difference between playing wide back and running back. His contract actually pays him to play wide back, and he gets incentives to play wide back. So people run their mouth about him not playing wide back, and they don't know what they're talking about. He's not playing running back. Swift or Javonte, look, in a vacuum vlogs, I'm taking Javonte. But when I think I could get both of them by going Swift first, I'll go Swift. And I'll try and draft both of them. Unless Chase is there, I'll take Chase, and then I'll take Javonte in round 2. What else we got? 271 in the building. Swift at the end of round 1 if possible. Absolutely. Love Swift at the end of round 1, bro. Love it. Swift and Javonte all day long. Swift and Lamb, Swift and Devontae Adams. But Javonte, I'm not passing on. Plain and simple. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to and where are you calling from?
This is Matt. I'm calling from Monroe, New Jersey.
Matt from New Jersey. What's up, Matt? How can I help you?
All right, well, I'm in a 10-team PPR keeper league, and I know who's going to be taken or kept this year. I have the 6th pick out of 10. JT's going to be gone. CMC is going to be gone. Javonte's a keeper. Swift's a keeper. So pretty much out of the running backs, the top ones will be Najee and Dalvin. But would you consider taking Justin Jefferson at 6?
I mean, I'd take him at 2. I'm not saying I for sure would, but I would. I'm strongly considering JJ and Jamar Chase at number 2 overall in a fresh startup Dynasty keeper redraft, PPR draft. Doesn't matter. I don't care what anybody says, bro. These guys could be.
All right, so maybe this will. I know. And let me ask you this: if my keeper is T. Higgins in round 6, would you take Jamar round 1 to have that duo?
Why not? Why not? You know why? Because round 6 is very spread out and far away. It's not crazy draft capital to invest. Think of it think of it like this, bro. If you're looking at, I don't know if you can see the screen, or if not, I'll say it out loud for you, and I'll do it on the board for everybody else. But in 2021, you had in round 1, you had Mahomes going like at the tail end of 2 or top of 3. So Mahomes.
Yeah, someone did that last year. Yep.
Yeah. So Mahomes had this value. Tyreek Hill had first round value. If the Chiefs do bad, you got your first and second round picks off the board, and your team has to be carried by your 3rd, 4th, and 5th round players. And that's not going to necessarily get it done week in and week out if you have a bad Chief game. But when you're talking about in your situation, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You said T. Higgins in round 6?
Yep, he's my keeper.
And Chase in round 1, if you take him?
If he's there, I'm pretty sure the guy in front of me is going to take Cook.
Yeah,
but we'll see. But I'm confident. Yeah.
Yeah. So see how far apart these guys are spread. If the Bengals do bad, you still got your 2nd, your 3rd, your 4th, your 5th round players to carry your team. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. It's all about what you have surrounding the duo. When people say you shouldn't have players from the same team, it matters on the draft capital. It matters what other supporting cast members you have. And in this case, these are so far apart, it's not a big deal. I even draft Joe Burrow. In fact, I 100% if he's there in round 5 draft Joe Burrow. You're not getting him in 7. Now you have this tripod, bro. This tripod of goodness just scoring points all over the board, bro. All over the board.
So, and then the last question. So, real quick, and I love your show. You're top notch.
The show loves you.
If Jefferson and Jamar is there, knowing that Higgins is my keeper, you're saying go with Jamar?
No, I'm not. I'm not saying for sure. I mean, look, I like both of them, and I love.
What would be the better choice, you think? Pairing Jamar with Higgins if he's there, or just taking Jefferson he's there and you got Higgins?
If you already have Higgins, it would probably make me lean JJ. It'd probably make me lean JJ. You know, because I'm already on the fence about it. But I do like the diversity a little more when you're talking about a guy that's already arguably the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football. Not to mention that JJ could have 2,000 yards this year.
And then my last question for you is on the turn back in round 2. Obviously, I would go with the running back. Who do you think I should take? Like I told you, I know Najee, Cook, all the top notches. I mean, would you go with the Fournette? Like, what would be a good second-round running back to pair up with Jefferson and Higgins?
I need to know more names, but I'm not a Fournette guy at all. At all.
You're not? Okay.
No, I like Rashad White.
I know if the.
Not saying.
What if Kelsey fell? Would you do that and wait till we get a running back in round 3?
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I mean, if you got JJ, Kelsey, and Higgins, you're a very strong team. I feel like it depends on your expectation and what you know about your league mates. Will you end up getting a ETN? Can you get an ETN still? If you can, then I think you might be okay. You're gonna have a light running back crew, but I take the best player available every time. If Etienne and
Okay,
Brees Hall,
that
if
makes sense.
if Etienne and Brees Hall are there in round 2 in a keeper format where
Yes.
you're essentially like
Yes.
in the middle of round 2, you're really in round 3 in a keeper format like yours.
True.
So Hall or Etienne are
That's true, very
fantastic
much
third
so.
round players, but you know,
I think no, Etienne will definitely be there. That's all I was going to ask you. If I had Jefferson and Etienne, and then Higgins as my keeper, and just let the chips fall as they may at 3 and 4. I mean, I'm good with that.
yeah, I mean, take best player available, but yeah, most certainly,
You got it.
yeah. All right, man, appreciate you.
All right, Smitty, thank you. Yeah, appreciate you. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, call in anytime, man.
All right.
Later. All right, Michael dropping another super chat. Michael, appreciate you dropping a $5 holler. And to the moon, Michael. And then we got Jace with another one. $9.99 holler. Let's see here. Let's answer these two monster super chats here. Trying again. I missed your call. I apologize. Jace. I'm sorry, Jace. Schmitty, you draft any leagues with the subs or got any buy-in leagues? We do. We have the Cooper Cup League. We talked about it yesterday. Cooper Cup League, the winner's getting that amazing Tyreek Hill a helmet that's phenomenal that Grant showed everybody yesterday. And then on top of that, the Tomlinson autograph frame jersey. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to and where are you calling from? Shy. Some people are shy. But Jace, I appreciate you. Can't draft on Underdog because of the state laws. Okay. Yeah, Jace, we might have another league. We for sure going to have them like starting in January for 2023. We'll do another 96 or 100 and something team league. So get ready for that. And January will come quick, but we may have one more. I don't know. It's cutting it close. We have one more league that's going to potentially be happening, and you're just going to kind of have to keep tabs on that. Everybody wants in, but I'll do my best to try and open it up to everybody. But I don't even know how many spots we're going to have left in that league. But we might be at a point where we don't have any more for this year. But maybe we do some mid-season league. It's kind of what I'm thinking, Jace. Is if I can have somebody manage it for me and be the commission of it, because I got too much going on. I might find one of my amazing, subscribers here, Mod or somebody that's, totally into it. And I'll get them to run it. We'll do a mid-season draft. Like week 8, we draft for weeks 9 on. It's a fresh league. You know what I'm saying? We're probably going to do a lot of that stuff during the season. So get ready for that. Appreciate you, Jace, for the super chat. Overcome, what's up, my man?
What up, man? Not much, man. Hey, what do you think about Chase Mixon stack?
Who's there when Mixon's on the board?
Aaron Jones, Swift.
Give me Swift over Mixon all day. Here's why. Like, again, going back to the board, which I completely annihilated. Otherwise, I could have still used that same drawing that I did. But if we go back to the board right here, and I don't know if you can read or see this, but if you can't, don't worry. I'll describe it. But when you're talking about Chase and Mixon, unless there's some keeper value there, you're getting Chase in round 1. You're getting Mixon in round 2. And that draft capital is the worst kind of like draft capital in terms of tying two players together, because it's your first or your second round pick. And if anything goes wrong in a Cincy game or they rotate scoring for you, you're literally relying on your third, your fourth, your fifth rounders, your sixth rounders to carry you each week, because these are off the board if there's a bad game. And so I don't like that at all. I'd much rather have you get Swift here and then have the Joe Burrow right here and rely on that Cincinnati combo, which is my favorite draft strategy of 2022, because Chase and Burrow are that same team stack that's spread out so far apart that there's no ramifications during a bad Bengal game. You can still win your week. I don't like the second and first rounder coupling of Mixon and Chase. I think it's too risky to put it all on the Bengals in that sense.
Roger that, man. Thanks, dude.
Yeah. What else you got?
I'm not sure, man. I'm at work, so I was listening to the show too. So
all right, man.
Awesome show, dude.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
Thanks,
Later.
Dude.
You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to, and where are you calling from?
Hey, what up, brother? It's Jacob in Cincinnati.
What's up? You said, what's your name?
Jacob in Cincinnati.
Jacob, Cincinnati. What's up, my man?
Yes, sir. What's up, brother? So I got a question for you. I'm thinking about stacking A.J. Brown with Hurts, but I'm going to have to reach for Hurts if I want him because I'm picking third in a 12-man league. You see any value in the boom on that or no?
Where are you thinking? What round are you thinking about taking Hurts?
I'm going to have to jump for him. It's probably going to have to be around 5th or 6th.
Yeah, that's fine.
But if I do that, I'm missing out on the tight end probably.
Let's
fine.
Let's say worst case scenario, you go 6. You're going to get A.J. Brown in 3.
Yeah, I'm probably going to get Brown in 3. That's if I don't go 2 receivers first, but I'm probably not going to go that way.
Love the stack because this is late draft capital. Like, here's what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about. This stack is amazing because you have your first, your second, your fourth, your fifth, your seventh, your eighth, all to carry you if anything goes wrong or awry in Philly, for a week or two, or if they have a bad game or whatever. So absolutely love the stack. I mean, you throw in a Jamar Chase if you get so lucky, or you have the third pick. Okay, so let's say you take JJ. Yeah. If you were to get so lucky and get Javonte, you literally just walk straight to the bank. If you had that crew right there.
Yeah, I know.
But let's.
Yeah, I know. But his stock has been rising. And it's just I don't know if he's going to be there.
Who?
Oh, you talking about JJ at the third pick? Yeah, that's where I'm going. If I go to wide receiver, if I go wide receiver first, I'm going at the third pick.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, who do you think is going to be there for your second round pick?
Second round, it's been tough, and honestly, I've been picking a running back lately. So I mean, you're looking at guys like Deontay Johnson, Waddle, guys in that area, and I'm not really confident in
that's too
any
hot
of those guys
in the second round. Deontay, no.
Yeah, I mean that's where I'm at. I mean, with the receiver, if I'm going with another receiver, Hill maybe if he's there, but he's been getting picked up like first or second.
Yeah, bro,
round
don't touch Deontay don't touch Deontay till like round 4 or 5, and I would say.
Yeah, I mean, McLaurin's there, Pittman's there. He's another one that's there around. That's when I'm coming back around. So I mean, not really guys that I'm really looking into.
Yeah, I don't know who you're going to get here at this pick. This could put you in a bind. You almost might want to consider going Najee or whoever you like right here. I love JJ, but you could be in a bind here if you're thinking the running backs are going to be scooped up and they're pretty close anyway in value. I mean, like, let's say you get, I'm trying to think of would Debo fall potentially? You don't think Hill or Debo would be there?
Nah, definitely not in this league. Too many. I got a couple San Fran fans for what he did last year. Other guys.
Yeah, but someone's gonna fall. If people are making bad picks, someone's gonna fall, bro. Like you're saying things like Waddle and like Waddle's right, like a fourth rounder or third
round with them, but
yeah.
Right, but I mean, no real draft is ever like a mock draft, so somebody's always gonna do something that's.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I have a feeling you're gonna have really good players here. More than you expect. So I would probably, if you think Javonte won't fall, which he may or may not, depends on the league, I would think Najee here wouldn't be a bad idea for you. And then you got AJ Brown, your Hurts idea. I think you'll be okay that way. But you could be putting yourself in a jam if you don't grab Najee maybe. Or running back you like at 1.3.
Yeah. Well, at one point, I'm looking at Eckler because from what I've been reading, Eckler has the Chargers have the easiest schedule for running backs for like the first 6 or 7 weeks. And I looked at, they're not good run defenses. So, I mean.
Yeah, it depends on the data. Depends on the data. Like my data shows if you combine PPR and non, if you look at rushing and receiving, it's a little different than most people's. But yeah, I mean, I like Eckler a lot, and you could take Eckler there, and I'd be completely fine with it. Completely.
Okay, cool. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you calling anytime. Let me get to these super chats. Michael says, for the current call, 6th round is crazy good value for Higgins. Yep. And if you take Chase, regardless of injuries, you still have a top 5 wide receiver. Attaboy. But in his case, I mean, I don't mind going JJ and having Higgins and then get Burrow. But the Burrow, Higgins, and Chase stack is probably very hard to get. Like, you'll rarely be in a position to ever own that stack that way. So maybe I am tempted to go Chase to have the Burrow, Chase, Higgins stack, because it's very rare you're ever going to see that again with that 6th round Higgins value. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, what's up, Smitty? It's Steven.
Steven, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Massachusetts.
Okay. What's up, my man? What can I do for you?
I was actually going to ask you, with the Michael Thomas news with his hamstring, I actually have like a draft like this weekend, and I was actually going to ask you, like, are you like high on Olave? Or do you think that I should like target him just in case? Because it seems like Michael Thomas, it seems like he's not over like his injury like history. Because at the beginning at first I was like, because I was reading like good reports that he was looking good, but if he's gonna go back to his ways of getting hurt, then maybe I should like try to pick up somebody else.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of MT, bro. I mean, I explain this to people like in tremendous detail, and I get a lot of hate for it because I think people just don't like to hear negative, projections on injuries and such. But when you're coming back from the amount of time off he's been off, I apologize for my voice. I lose my voice, and I can never get it back because I'm constantly going live and screaming and yelling. I think whenever you come back from an extended period like that, from a very major injury where you injured this ligament here that keeps the two bones from separating, essentially. That's so when you injure it, he literally felt like these two bones were dividing when he'd plant and try and push off. And it literally kept him out. Surgery kept him out. He's been out 2 years. He's been missing for 2 years. And when you come back from that kind of leave, you're trying to go 100%, and you're going to have compensation issues. So like Cam Akers, I fully expect him to have lower body injuries, hamstrings, things like that. Another Achilles re-injury, or some kind of compensation injury because he's off kilter. Like your car's alignment's off, you're going to start causing other problems, right? Because it's compensating.
Yeah.
So it's very similar. The body's very similar. When you come back from an ACL tear, what happens? You have a hamstring issue or some other injury, or you like Barkley struggled all year. Dalvin Cook, his first year back, struggled with hamstring issues. MT is a total avoid for me. Now, do I love Olave? I suppose I like him. I don't know that I love Olave, but I like him. But do I think like a guy like Dobbs could do better? I kind of do, bro. I kind of feel like Dobbs is one of the secret weapon wide receiver 3-4s in fantasy that everybody knows is coming, but he's still going to be a steal. Absolutely love. Yeah. I like Dobbs more than Olave right now. Not that I don't like Olave. Okay. I like Olave. They're both wide receiver 3-4s. You probably draft him as a wide receiver 4, but they got like wide receiver 3 appeal. Like at some point, you might be injecting Dobbs and Olave into starting lineups as a wide receiver 3 with injuries and such,
Well, because the way that you're talking, like, because like the way that's been looking, especially like with the stuff with like Kamara, if he's like exempt and he's not going to be there, and then like maybe like especially like what's going on with like Michael Thomas and all that type of stuff, if he's really going to be like injury prone, they did try to draft that guy, and I was just thinking that maybe they try to give him the ball because they tried it out. I think it was like last year at Callaway, and Callaway was like struggling, so they're going to have to try to find somebody to throw the ball to.
Bro, it sounds
Olave instead of like Landry.
It sounds like you're a big Olave fan, and and you should follow your gut on that. Don't grab him. Doesn't mean you can't grab another guy in conjunction with it, and if Olave doesn't do it, you got another option. But like it sounds like you're very pro Olave, so trust your gut, man. Don't let anybody stray you away from a gut call, and I can tell this is one of your gut calls, so trust it, man.
I like your call too, because like I'm definitely like interested in him. because not only you have been talking about it, but I've been like watching like Matthew Berry's been starting to talk about him, and I like if we're gonna look at just as far as like who I trust a lot more, like I'm definitely trusting like Aaron Rodgers more than I'm trusting like Jameis Winston, because we don't even know with him if he's even going to be healthy, and if that's like another guy that's going to be like going down, like the passing offense in New Orleans, it might not even be, it might be just like a whole like fade.
Yeah, I'm not liking, like, this is an example by Overcome. I like Callaway a lot. Like, I admittedly was wrong on Callaway. Like, I pumped him up pretty good. Like, look, I got losses, I got misses. I'm not bashful about admitting when I'm wrong, but I feel like Callaway was good. I think Callaway had a lot of talent, but New Orleans worries me. And I don't know that I trust New Orleans. I don't trust him with Kamara right now. I don't trust Winston. I don't trust a lot of things going on in New Orleans. And so, you know what? I feel like it just feels risky to me. But Olave is so talented that if there's one player that's going to survive, be running the ball as well on like jet sweeps or end arounds and just getting the football in his hands, he's probably the guy. Like, Olave is probably the guy I trust, the most to be reliable. But I certainly don't trust New Orleans.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Is like, but if anything, like even if he's like a flyer like towards like the end, if I have like stacked like wide receivers, it's not like I'll be relying on that guy like too much, because especially like if I have like you've been talking about, like if I get like Chase or like some of like the top like guys. Worst case scenario, if he's actually like doing pretty good, he'd probably end up being like in like my bye weeks, depending on like how like my team shakes.
Bro, trust your gut. You love him. Take him. Trust your gut.
And one more question for you. Because I wanted to know, because I know you've been talking about like Burrow. Do you like feel like comfortable in taking like Lamar at any point of the draft, like depending on like where he falls? Just because I'm thinking that like they moved on, and like I feel like he's gonna have some type of like a bounce back, just because it is like his contract year, and like they've been talking about it, like he hasn't been showing up to get paid, so that like he wants to be like set like the quarterback market. Do you think that like where do you feel like comfortable drafting him?
I don't feel comfortable drafting Lamar. I mean, Lamar lost his number one wide receiver. I'm not sold on Bateman, a guy who has 500 yards to his name and a single touchdown. Conversion stats and all these metrics that people throw at you with Bateman, they don't mean much to me on 500 yards. It's not a big window of time and opportunity. Like, could Bateman be the guy? Sure. But is Lamar capable of disappointing? 2 years in a row, Lamar has crapped the bed in one way or another, whether it's getting hurt last year or busting for an entire weeks 1 through 8. He's like quarterback 13 or 14 from the entire weeks 1 through 8. So Lamar's crapped the bed 2 years in a row, runs 150 to 180 times a season. The team is the offense is going to gear more toward running than ever, and Lamar gained 18 pounds. Never, I don't care if it's muscle absorbing hits. I get it, but the bottom line is you gain 18 pounds and you're hitting the ground. Go put on a backpack with 18 pounds in it, jump up in the air onto the ground over and over, and tell me how it feels. Like it's not. It can absorb. It can have a pro and a con, but the con far outweighs the pro, in my opinion, when a player's used to playing at a certain weight. And people will say he's Lamar. I think he'll be better. I think he'll be stronger because of it. It'll help him run more. You don't want him running more. Lamar's going to get hurt. There's a reason Lamar got hurt last year. There's a reason Lamar has, in my opinion, a short shelf life. And that if he does get that $230 million guaranteed bag from, let's say, Baltimore, that they're not going to get as long out of Lamar as they think if they're going to run him the way that they're running him. Not to mention, if you dial back Lamar's running, he doesn't do well. And whenever you try and control Lamar, he ends up struggling. And so they're going to run more than ever. They've said they're going to change to more of a running-oriented offense, proven by getting rid of Hollywood Brown, right? And then on top of that, you've got a proven track record of when you do try and control him, you end up having him playing a little bit off. This is a guy you can't control. He said he's a bad practice player. This guy's a on the field, let him do his thing. And if you're going to try and curb him and control him, you're not going to get the best result out of Lamar. So, in the running back room is an all ACL team. I just don't see how they're going to run the ball the way they want to run the ball successfully. So what does that mean? A midseason revert back to the same ways that they've been, rolling the previous years? And it's like, I don't know. I'm not a big look. I said the same thing about the Browns last year. Everyone laughed at me. The Browns will be fine. The Browns are amazing. They had a great draft. And what are you talking about? The Browns are going to collapse. The Browns collapsed. I feel very similar about the Ravens in some respects. And I know it doesn't set well with a lot of people, and I could be wrong, but I just think there's a lot of red flags for Lamar getting hurt. You know what I will tell you? The Ravens could still have success even if Lamar struggles because I love Tyler Huntley. Okay. I like this likely kid, and if Tyler Huntley gets on the field, it could spark this team. I'm not saying Lamar can't lead them, but I think Tyler Huntley, if he gets in there, is going to shine. And teams that didn't go after Tyler Huntley are crazy. You have teams that need a quarterback that just sat around talking about acquiring this guy. Let's get Baker Mayfield. Why not go after Tyler Huntley? Best backup in the NFL.
I get what you're saying because he did pretty good against Green Bay. But nobody Lamar went down. Everybody thought that Green Bay was just gonna basically destroy him. And Huntley actually brought him all the way to the game, and they almost were in a position to win. I mean, I know they tried for the 2-point conversion, but they're looking at an overtime.
Yeah,
I agree with you there. I think that he's definitely getting overlooked and stuff like that.
All right, Steven, I got to let you go. I got to get jumped to another call. Appreciate you, my man.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the time, man.
Yeah, call in anytime. All right. We'll take one more call. I got to get to these super chats real quick. Herbert, Burrow, Lance, Eckler. Are you still here, Shane? I'm sorry, Shane. Herbert, Burrow, Lance, Eckler, Javonte, Walker, A.J. Brown, St. Brown, Elijah Moore, Devontae Smith. What do you think of my team? Bro. Herbert, Burrow. This is a super flex, obviously. Herbert, Burrow, Lance. You got trade power, and I don't even know if you need to make a trade because you got Eckler, Javonte, A.J. Brown, same. Try and trade one of your quarterbacks for an elite wide receiver. Can you imagine if you got Jamar Chase using Elijah Moore and Trey Lance, or something, crazy like that, or if you could get a wide receiver near that, get Debo using. I hate to trade Trey Lance when you're getting Debo, but. Tyler Huntley is my coworker's nephew. Can you get him on the show, Derek? Because I want to tell him what a monster he is. I got one question for Tyler Huntley. What's it feel like to be a sleeping giant? Is what I'd ask him, Derek. Shane, are you still here? Shane, I appreciate you for waiting. I'm sorry. To the moon.
To the moon.
Tyler Huntley, what's it feel like to be a sleeping giant monster, bro? That's what I'd ask him. Caleb. Are you still here, Caleb? Hurts, Connor, Mitchell, JJ, Evans, Hollywood Brown, bench, Juju, Gordon, Spiller. 1 QB, 2 wide receiver. Okay. Hurts, Connor, Mitchell, JJ, Evans. I want to be honest with you, bro. That's what you want me to be honest. You don't want me to just lie to you, right? You need to make a move. I don't know if you need to make a trade necessarily, but you need one move. This team is one move away. You're one move away. I don't think you can win in the current state, but it's built well, and you just need that right waiver wire guy. You get this year's Mitchell. There you go. Stay on top of the waiver wire. Stay on your toes. Stay on my show. My waiver wire show will drop either Sunday or Monday. Be on your toes, bro. Be on your toes. Don't let anybody take that top out of the year from you because you're going to need to make a move. And trade-wise, let me put your team back on screen. Shane, are you still here? Oh, Shane, yeah. Shane's team is phenomenal. Debo for Lance and Moore, absolutely go get Debo, bro. Shane, if it's a 2 QB league, you can afford that, right? You got Hurts and Burrow. So I would go get Debo personally. Caleb, are you still here? Hurts, Connor, Mitchell, JJ. So again, JJ, Evans, Hurts, Mitchell, you got a really good core. You just need one thing to happen, whether it's waiver wire, trade, whatever. As far as a trade, I mean, I would try and shoot for the moon and get Javonte using Connor and, you know, whatever you can. Hollywood Brown and Connor. I don't know that you're gonna be able to do that. Brees Hall, ETN, those are guys I'd target. Rate my team. Hurts, Javonte, ETN, Chase, AJ Brown, Freiermuth. Very good. Brees. Love it. Love it. Javonte, Brees Hall, ETN, Chase, AJ Brown. I mean, taking advantage of about 8 other people or 7 other people in your 8-man league is what I'm guessing, bro. At least a 10. There's no way that's a 12. That's absolutely crazy. Just ask her on Microsoft Teams, waiting for an answer. That would be sweet. Derek, that'd be amazing. I could send you a link right now. Yeah, you could do it later. But I'd love to get Tyler Huntley on. I think Tyler Huntley's the most undervalued quarterback in the NFL. And if I was a GM, I would have traded for this man already. Probably could have got him for a 3rd-round pick. And here teams are trading for Baker. Huntley in Carolina would have been phenomenal. Huntley in Atlanta would have been good. I mean, I do think Ritter's got upside. My brother has Debo in our league. Would that be fair? I mean, it's a fair trade. I mean, Lance in a super flex, right? It's a super flex, right? Lance for Debo's completely fair. Marco says QB, Russell Wilson, Lance. Mixon, Kamara, Hall, Pierce, Pittman, Robinson. I mean, I like your team, but the problem is the Kamara, risk that you have. I mean, can you get Javonte using him? Try. All right, guys, hit that like button on your way out the door. We'll be back for the 7 p.m. show. This was an emergency live stream. Your boy Smitty is live Monday through Friday. 7 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Get your lifetime membership, your one-on-one advice, the text line. One-on-one text advice with me, your boy Smitty. On-demand texting. Do it. Thefantasyfootballshow.com. Trade calculators, rankings, bold predictions, you name it. Go over there and get it. Underdog Fantasy, promo code Smitty. The link is in the description. Become a YouTube exclusive member and be able to drop your emojis and whatnot. Appreciate everybody being here. And don't forget, I'll be back tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, because I'm live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. and whenever news breaks. That's why we're live right now. News broke. Alvin Kamara. I do an emergency live stream. That's how I roll. I'll see you all at 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's go. Derek, I would say whenever he wants to, I can go live almost immediately if Tyler Huntley can jump on. I could go live pretty much whenever. Appreciate you all. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Derek. Blackbeard says hit the thumb up button on your way out the door. Jay Wiz dropping a fire team there. Hurts, Lance, Cup, Adams. Love it. Javonte, ETN taking grandmas down left and right. The local retirement community. All right, guys. See you at 7 p.m. Eastern. People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.
Get burrowed.
Okay, Derek. Message me on Discord. Appreciate you, Derek.